wear and tear on Fire Station 14 on Hutchinson Island is extensive. So much so that officials say that the building needs to be replaced. Well, on August 29th, voters in Martin County will have a chance to go to the polls to decide on a 1% sales surtax, and those funds could go to replace this building and other public safety structures. Firefighters are constantly in a state of readiness. The 5 men and women that staff this fire station on Hutchinson Island 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, respond to over 1,500 calls a year.
For the citizens and visitors of Hutchinson Island, it's critical.
Martin County Fire Chief William Schobel says the station also provides that critical service to Sewells Point and St. Lucie County through mutual aid agreements. But the building that serves these firefighters and the community is showing its age.
There's rampant, electrical issues.
Built in 1981 and just a stone's throw from the beach and heavy salt air, it has been difficult to keep maintained. And electrical issues are just the start.
It's a daily battle with doorknobs, door hinges, locks, you name it. Anything metal wants to corrode just because of how close we are to the ocean.
Some firefighters nervous about the generator and electrical outlets. And the garage sometimes gets stuck.
What will happen is on occasion, especially with the electrical issues as well, they'll come out, the door won't be able to open. Of course, the firefighters know what to do.
Chief Schobel says the men and women here know how to open the door manually, pretty quick, and response times are only minimally impacted. He says everything is being done to keep the station operational, but it's difficult.
General services help with preventive maintenance, lubrication, things of that nature. It's a challenge.
2 recent studies have actually recommended building an entirely new facility, something that can keep up with current standards. And Chief, the lockers for the guys that have all their equipment are right here in the middle of the bay, obviously very rusted. But you're saying that there's new standards that in a new fire station, this wouldn't be out here like this.
Correct. The standards are not to allow the gear that's in storage here to be exposed to the diesel fumes for the apparatus moving in and out of the bays all the time.
Chief Schobel says that fumes from the diesel engines can get into the fabric of firefighters' gear and seep into their skin. A new building would solve that danger.
It's not a question of whether we need to rebuild. Yes, we need to rebuild. It's just when are we going to do it? And then the next question is how are we going to pay for it?
Martin County voters could decide to pay for a new building along with other public safety facilities on August 29th. On that day, voters will go to the polls to decide on a local 1% sales surtax. The tax is expected to generate over $20 million a year for projects relating to infrastructure, water quality, and public works. Under the public works category is where funding would come for public safety structures like a new Fire Station 14.
So it's up to the taxpayers, and the taxpayers are allowed to have a voice and decide whether or not, are we going to take on the burden ourselves through ad valorem, or are we going to provide some opportunities for cost sharing.
For a full list of projects to be funded by the sales tax, please go to our website, www.martin.fl.us, and click on the Sales Tax Referendum tab. For Martin County Television, I'm Bob Hutchinson.